Last week we talked a little bit about reaching out to lonely people and why it's so necessary. This week I want to talk a little bit about the actual techniques of doing that and how we can be successful. It is really a change in our mindset. There's two key things that need to change. And the first is that we need to stop focusing on ourselves and what we're thinking and what we're feeling and truly focus on what this other person is feeling, that they're feeling lonely, that they're needing someone to reach out to them. But number two, and this is key, and this is what gives you all the power, this is to realize that it is your job to do this. My freshman and sophomore years of college, I was quite shy, not particularly social. I had friends, but as far as reaching out to people, it was tough for me. And then my junior year, I became a resident advisor, and I was in charge of a dorm of 35 girls. And I remember that I thought it was my job to make sure that no one was left out. And it gave me tremendous power. It wasn't that I was suddenly more interesting or more dynamic, but I just felt like this was something that I had to do, that this was my job. And truly, if it is your church or your school or your event, your party, your friend's party, then it is your job to reach out. And they're not going to find it odd that you're reaching out to them. So there's great power in realizing that. And here's the simple thing that you can do is you walk up to the person, you extend your hand, you smile, and you say, "Hi, my name is Laura. I don't think we've met before." And you might be thinking, well, it's obvious that we haven't met before. But you know what? That's okay, because what this does is it forces them to respond with something other than a yes, no, or a thank you. Then they're kind of forced to say, "Hi, my name is Susan, and no, we haven't met before. I'm new to the area." And that gives you a little thread of something to pick up on. "Oh, you're new to the area. Where did you move from?" Or "Is this your child? What's your child's name?" Focusing on something about that person, whether it's a piece of jewelry, a unique sweatshirt, something that you might be able to start a conversation around. You know what? If you've gotten through that initial introduction and you're kind of at a loss, here's something you can always do. "I'm so glad that you're here. Let me introduce you to some of my friends." And when then you've pulled them into that group setting, chances are that one of your friends is going to be good at pulling them out of their shell, but they might be content just to be included. I think those are just a really first step to reaching out to people. Next week, I would like to talk a little bit about reaching out to people who may not be able to respond. I think we've all seen the person who's maybe in a wheelchair and they have some kind of a disability that looks like that they may not be able to speak. But you still want to acknowledge them as a person and as a human being that needs care. And so next week, I'm going to touch on that and give you some tips. In the meantime, I would really love to hear from you. Does this resonate with you? Is this helpful? What are your ideas on reaching out to people? And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Laura Shares. You can also find me on Instagram at Laura_shares. Have a terrific week.